Yo, so Ken Carson just dropped a music video today, and this music video is absolutely crazy. So I want to be breaking down all of the effects in it today. And I'm also going to be sharing a bunch of the tools that I'm using to recreate these looks. So there's a lot of what they call sauce in this video. So, make sure to go follow that subscribe button and let's just get right into this. So this first look that I'm going to break down for you guys is how they made this CRT look right here. So there's a bunch of different tools that you could use. You could use CRT emulator, you could use Jamo diffusion, but lately what I've been using is this plugin right here. So it's called Surveillance, and this is created by Tiny Tapes. And I'll put some examples up on the screen of what you can make with this. I think this is a super crazy plugin, and it's got some really cool features I'm about to show you. So if you guys want to go snag that, it's linked down in the description. It really helps support the channel. And so to recreate this CRT look that's in the Ken Carson music video, we're going to attempt to get that look with this plugin right here. So I'm going to click Full HD, then I'm going to click Choose Footage, and my footage that I have selected right here is automatically going to show up right here. And now we can move on to looks, and once you click on that, it brings up your comp here where you can now select all of the different looks. And the nice thing that I really appreciate about this plugin is that every time you adjust something in these sliders over here, it's updating in real time. A lot of effects and a lot of plugins and a lot of programs are really slow in doing that, even when I have like a super beefed out computer. And so yeah, as you see here, as I'm adjusting these values, it's actually updating real time, which is super nice. And this is definitely one of my favorites, the black and white flicker. And I think the closest one to the music video would be CRT warped or CRT warped color. So I'm gonna go with those two. And so you can adjust the quality, bring that all the way down, make it really pixelated, or you can increase that all the way. I like to increase it. I kind of like the higher quality CRT looks. And then as well, you can increase the glitch right here. You just have to turn it on. And then I like to have just a tiny bit of glitch. And so when you click this little camera right here in the base parameter, you can choose the FPS. So either 8 FPS, 12 FPS, or 18. I like to go for the higher, so I'm going to choose 18. And then right here, you can now change the overlays, but I'm just going to turn the overlays off because I just want the CRT look. And then another thing you can do is you could add a little face box tracker that shows up in like surveillance cameras, and that's pretty common in some music videos, but I'm not going to be using that either. And another one right here that would work would be intense CRT. I think once you mess with all of these parameters, you could definitely get something that looks similar to the Ken Carson music video. And then same with this one right here, Digital Synth 2. And a cool thing about this is you can also adjust the hue in here. And if you want to make this a night vision look, you can just click this little nighttime thing. And then once you have it how you look, you just click done and then name your comp. So I'll just name this comp. And now we're going to transform this into looking like this right here. So to get some more overlay texturing going on, I'm going to go over to the complete CRT pack on my website. And this right here has 100 assets. I spent a ton of time working on this. So this pack is huge. It's got 50 texture overlays and 50 transition overlays. Super simple, easy to use. You just drag and drop it into your comp and change the blending mode. And so I just dragged a bunch of these in here, and some of these textures are actually pretty similar to the Ken Carson music video that dropped today. So I just dragged in a bunch of different CRT looks. As you see here, we got a bunch of really cool ones that I think will definitely help us get the look we want. This one right here is probably my favorite. So all you got to do is change the blending mode to screen or change it to add. Click T on your keyboard and then adjust the opacity however you like, because it's a little bit harsh. So I'm going to just bring it down a little bit. And then I'm going to bring in this one, CRT number 31, and just bring this down here, change that blending mode to add or screen. And I'm just going to bring down the opacity. So I'm going to click T on my keyboard to bring that up and then just bring that down until it feels, comfortable. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add an adjustment layer and add on the curves effect and just brighten this up a whole lot, and then add on some curves just to that bottom layer to bring that up. And then I'll add on a lumetri color here, and I'll increase the contrast, decrease the shadows, decrease the whites. And then as you guys can see here on the screen, the blacks are kind of blown out. So I'm going to bring the black value way down, kind of match that same vibe. And then as you can see here, it's kind of like an orangish pinkish tint. I don't know, kind of hard to explain. And then I kind of want to bring in some of those blues, as you can see here up on the screen. So I'm just going to increase the opacity on this CRT texture overlay from my pack. And yeah, now we got something that looks like this. And I think I could just darken this a bit more like that. I think that looks super dope. And yeah, that's definitely looking a lot like this video right here. And so to recreate the transitions, I'll just come in here and use one of the transitions from my pack and change the blending mode to screen. And then there we go. We have a really dope transition if we want to use that in here. and it just goes so well with this. And so like I said, there's over 50 texture overlays and 50 transition overlays, and they all look super sick like this. Now we're going to recreate this melting CRT transition effect right here. So I'm going to transition from this clip right here into this clip. So what I'm going to do to make this as similar as I possibly can, I'm going to duplicate this layer, make sure my cursor is on the last frame, right click, go to time, freeze frame, and then just drag this out a bit and bring it above the layer we're transitioning into, and then just trim off what's on the left of it. And now I'm going to add on the Luma key effect. So this is a classic effect, and this is used throughout this music video a ton. They use it like 7 times. And so what you're going to do is keyframe the threshold right here at 0, and then later in the clip you're just going to bring this up, and as you can see here, it's just slowly going to fade everything out right there. And then now to get that kind of displaced to the bottom layer, what I'm going to do is add on the displacement mapping effect, which is built into After Effects. And then I'm going to set the input to the CRT effect. So I exported that and named it CRT effect right there, as you can see. And on this layer that I added the effect to, just set the input to the CRT effect layer. And then if I make this layer invisible, as you can see here, as I displace this, it's displacing to Carson's face. It's kind of hard to see there, but yes, that is Ken Carson's face. Oh, there it is. So on the first frame right here, what I'm going to do is keyframe the max horizontal and vertical displacement values right here at their default value, and just bring them over just to, you know, a good value. Maybe something like that, bringing that Y value all the way up or all the way down, and then keyframe that back down to the default position. And then I'm just going to open up my graph editor here, highlight those keyframes, easy ease them with F9, and then open up my graph editor here, and then just mess with the graph editor. I like messing with the speed graph instead of the value graph. And so you kind of see how it's displaced and it kind of fades away from his face into the next scene, into the next clip. And now obviously this doesn't look great, but you know, for the sake of the tutorial, that's how you would do it if you guys actually applied yourselves. And so now I'm just going to pre-comp all of these layers together with Control-Shift-C, move all attributes into the new composition and click OK. And I'm going to add a little bit of what they call sauce onto this, and I'll just add in this little transition right here and change the blending mode to screen, and I'll just bring this right over where that transition happens, bring the opacity way down. And then as well, what I can do is I can do the same thing, so I can set the displacement map to this layer now. So to overlay number 4, I'll just set that in my input here on the displacement map, and then I can mess with these values as much as I want. And then there you go. That's how you get those really cool like glitches, distortions, and it's matching so perfectly with this overlay that I made. And then I'm just going to keyframe those values in and out. So I'll set my keyframes there, and then on either end, just bring that back down to 0 or the default position, which is 5. And yeah, look at that. I mean, that's so sick, bro. And then I'm just going to highlight all those keyframes, F9 them, easy ease them, and then kind of make that happen a little bit quicker right there. And there we go. We have a really clean transition. And that looks like actual CRT footage right there. So in combination with this transition from my CRT pack and this plugin right here by Tiny Tapes, this is looking absolutely insane, bro. Damn, bro, I could just stare at this transition all day. And this right here looks like it could actually be in the music video. So now I'm going to break down this little title sequence right here, and this is going to be like a little speed run, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just going to go here to new, create a solid layer, make that blue, boom, boom, right click, new, text, fuck, right click, new, text, fuck, right click, new, text, there we go. Type in Ken Carson, and they've just been using the generic font, so I'm just going to use this font right here, and then scale this up just, you know what I'm saying, however you want to. And then it's really easy, you're just going to add on the mosaic effect to this, and then increase the horizontal and vertical blocks, and then there you go. That's how you get that pixelated look right there. And I'm just going to bring in this CRT texture right here from my pack, set that to screen, and then just bring that right underneath the text layer right there. And then I'll just bring that opacity down a little bit so it's not super harsh. And then to get a little bit of that natural jitter, I'm just going to pre-comp my layer and add on some sapphire shake, and then just increase the Y shake, but bring it down a little bit, and then bring the amplitude way down, turn on motion blur a little bit, and then go ahead and turn off the X shake. Bring that down to 0, so it's just jittering up and down. Maybe bring up the frequency a little bit more, and we get that really natural kind of looking CRT shake effect in there. It's just slightly jittering. And another thing you could do is you could add on the uni VHS effect here, and then you could just enable the tape damage, increase the jitter there, and then you could also adjust blend with original so it's not super faded like that. And then you could add on a final lumetri color for some color correction, blast up that contrast, bring down those shadows, and yeah, you get some really cool looks there. And then as well, you could use this plugin again. And now we're going to be going over this little transition right here. So he just fades in. So we're going to be using that same effect, the Luma key effect. The only difference here is that they were shooting this on a moving dolly cam, and they just set it so that they took multiple shots of Ken Carson, one where he's sitting on the back of the car and then one where he's sitting on the front of the car. And as you can see here, the textures are constantly changing. So it's like a dark blue right here, and then it's fading over into a highly exposed background. And they just did a really good job of fading all of this together and making it look good. And so essentially what you can do with that is you can just keyframe in some different CRT textures, and you can create multiple passes of using the plugin surveillance. You can just you can export one that looks like this right here, and then you can export another at these exposure rates and then just fade them in and out. Like as you can see, they faded the background exposure and then just made that nice and seamless, and then used Luma key to fade in Ken Carson right here. So say I wanted to 3D track this soccer ball right here where Ken Carson is, like just say he wasn't there. What I would do is just click on this layer, and I'd come over here to my tracker tab and click track camera. And then that's just going to take a little bit to resolve the analyzation, usually about 30 seconds. And just make sure your cursor is on the first frame when you do that. Of course, it's not working right here, but I broke down how to 3D track objects to your scene in the video that I posted last week. So make sure to check out the music video breakdown from last week. So just imagine I have this soccer ball tracked to the scene. What I would do is just add on that Luma key effect and then keyframe in the threshold, and yeah, boom, that's exactly how he faded in here. And then just also increase the feather just a little bit. That makes it just look a little bit better. If you guys liked any of the assets that you saw in this video, make sure to go check out the link in the description. My camera's about to die, so I gotta go, but that's gonna be it for this one. I appreciate y'all, and I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. Make sure to go check out my website. All right, peace.